Hello and welcome to the Backpack Show. I'm Chris Brogan. Co-host Kerry O'Shea Gorgone is backstage doing a little bit of work to help out our new pal Frankie McDonald to get on the stream. Frankie's a weather reporter and YouTuber up in Nova Scotia, and he's having a little bit of trouble getting on, so we're going to try to work that all out. But in the meantime, you and I are here, so that matters. And I saw that Michelle's already here, so good to see you. I had a reasonable weekend. Thank you so much for asking. Had a wonderful time. Hung out with my son, made a really nice pork roast, and have the fixings of a big soup in the way. So that's how life is. Listen, we will be talking today, if we get it to all work out, with Nova Scotia amateur weatherman Frankie McDonald. Incredible fun YouTuber, has done all kinds of creative stuff. And what's going to be fun about this conversation is essentially the determination and the drive to be able to make good stuff happen, without feeling so self-conscious and with just really going for it. Hey, Coach Woodard, good to see you. Happy Monday to yourself and the rest of the Backpack people as well. Remember, if you're here live, we can't see you until you let me know that you're here. So that is super important. Just make sure you say hi, leave a little comment wherever you happen to be on the platform, and we will connect you up. Also, if you're willing, throw a little share out there. Push the share button. Make sure some new people come and see it. I mean, even if I can't ultimately get Frankie on the show today because we're having a little trouble, we'll get it working out. Kerry's here, so don't go away if your favorite person on the show is Kerry. She'll be here for you. But really good to see you. Hey, Bob, good to see you. And hi, Debbie. Always glad that you're here. Well, I'm going to keep rolling as if this is all going to work just fine. One way or another, we'll get it. Maybe I should cut myself off. Backpack Show. So like I said, Kerry's working to get our guest, Frankie McDonald, on here. And Frankie's from Nova Scotia. He's an amateur weatherman. He's a reporter of sorts. And he's a YouTuber. And he has 266,000 YouTube subscribers. So that is 261,000 more than me. You should know that Frankie makes all kinds of videos about all kinds of things. Very exciting experiences that he's been put together. And one of the reasons we really wanted to grab Frankie was because Frankie dares to make video when so many people are still kind of worried or in their own skin or whatever. Frankie makes some of the most engaging, interesting, self-created stuff you can ever believe. Hey, look at that. My mom and my dad are here. Hey, Len. So I'm really hopeful that we get that all worked out, and I hope we get Frankie on the show. But in the meantime, one of the things I'm going to say is that we should give a little tribute to him anyway. So Debbie says, I am so pumped to see and hear Frankie. Such a cool guy. I love his energy. You know what I'm going to do while we're waiting? Just give me one quick second, and I will bring him up on YouTube at least. Hopefully I won't get copyright struck by him. 256. So he's just, he's only 251,000 more than me, not 261,000. One thing I want to show you about Frankie, let me get this picture. Hey, Paul, good to see you. Let me get this little graphic out of the way. Let me do a share screen. Let me do this. Let me do this. And then let me do this. Well, let me show you just a little bit of what Frankie does for work here.
McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. There is an asteroid size of the Eiffel Tower headed towards the planet Earth in the year 2068. It's going to bypass the Earth. It's not going to hit the Earth at all. It's going to completely bypass the Earth in the year 2068. There's an asteroid size of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. It's going to completely bypass the Earth in the year 2068. That's 4 decades away.
So, one of Frankie's biggest catchphrases is that, you need to be prepared. So he's letting us know. Hi, Karen. Frankie's letting us know that in about 4 decades away, there's an asteroid about the size of the Eiffel Tower. It's going to go right by the Earth. It's not going to hit the Earth. It's just going to go right by. But that we should have our gear ready to go in case we want to make some, get some film and get some footage, because it'll probably be visible from the Earth 4 decades from now. So that's one example. Hey, Kerry. Oh, wrong side.
Frankie's trying from his phone.
Oh, okay.
So, because I think I don't know if it was like a browser issue or a whatever permissions thing. So I'm going to give that a minute, and then maybe I'll call him back.
Yeah. So you shared with me one of your favorite Frankie videos a little bit earlier.
Did.
Why don't you explain it out to folk?
Well, so there were a couple actually I love, but one is he's talking about a man that has to eat 50 hot dogs. Is that the one? And he goes through the whole thing of like he plays both roles. He plays the guy preparing the hot dogs, and then he plays the role of the guy that's going to have to eat them all. So the exchange is funny, and I don't know. I can't explain it. You just have to see it.
Have to take a little peek at it, and you might get a sense of it.
Oh, it looks like
Hot dogs at once!
I think Frankie's here trying to get in. So it's
Oh, let's get it. Let's bring some real Frankie McDonald. We don't need the graphic one. We'll get him in here in just a minute.
okay.
Once he's all up online, we see his
He might
little
need
logo.
help with that too. So you want to
Keep dancing. Keep dancing.
It's so
Yeah.
good, though. His energy is amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, so that's with or without
he
there he is. All right. Kerry, you hit your button. I'll hit my button.
Okay.
Frankie, can you hear us okay, buddy?
I can hear you.
Yay.
You did it. You struggled through all of the different methods and you made it here. That's awesome.
So happy. We were just talking about you. Did you hear?
I was talking about you. I had a mighty hard time.
So sorry to hear that. I'm so glad you were able to make it work. We watched your video about the man eating 50 hot dogs.
Yes,
now?
I did that video uploaded on May 21st, 2012.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So what inspired you to do it? Because you play both roles, like the guy cooking and the guy eating them all.
I inspired it, and that was my own idea.
Wow. So did you ever actually eat a lot of hot dogs at once, or was that just acting? Because it's very good acting.
It's acting and pretending.
It's very convincing. I was really impressed.
Yeah, that was the part that was interesting, was also that not only were you acting it, but it felt like you'd maybe drawn from any kind of real experience. But something tells me maybe you haven't had that many hot dogs at one sitting.
That's a pretending to eat 50 hot dogs at once.
Frankie, how do you pick the videos that you decide to make? What makes you pick the creative role you want to go after?
That means I decided my own way.
Okay, so you just whatever comes into that mind that day, that's what you pick up?
That was my own day.
Can we talk about weather?
Just like I did a Superstorm Sandy video in October 30th, 2012. I got it right.
Yes. So weather, how are you so interested in weather?
When I was a little boy, I wanted to grow up. I wanted to be a weatherman.
Love that. Did you have a favorite weatherman? Or weather person?
It's like Chris St. Clair from the Weather Network. Just like Greg Hanna interviewed me on February 25th, 2015.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so you did have a favorite. So I don't know if you can get like posters of weathermen or anything, but did you ever have any like pictures of your favorite weatherman? I don't think I have one, a favorite weatherman. I mean, I do now, Frankie, but I didn't before. So now you're my favorite weatherman. Where do you get your weather information, Frankie?
I studied the weather models and things like that.
What is a weather Bible?
That means I watch the weather on regular television.
Oh, okay. So like a lot? Do you watch weather all the time? Or
yeah, I studied the weather models all over the world, every country, including countries that don't speak English.
Wow. How does that work? Like how do you watch the weather modeling in a different language and understand it?
I watch the weather models.
Cool.
That's one. I use Google Translate to translate description and title to a different language, and I do subtitles in another language.
Wow. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead. I just had to know.
That's okay. 2 questions. John Harrison asked the question, what is your favorite type of weather?
I like beautiful weather.
You like beautiful weather. That would make sense. You recently were giving a cold weather warning, and that's when I learned about your motto. When did your motto come about where you tell everybody to be prepared all the time?
2010, like severe earthquake according for California in September 2010. That happened in 2010. That's 10 years ago.
That's wild. That's wild.
What does beautiful weather mean for you? Like, what's
Sunny
your
and things like that.
hmm What's beautiful weather to you? Like, what's your favorite kind?
Sunny.
Sunny and hot?
Yeah,
Really hot, like beach weather?
like beach weather and things like that. And did you hear about that? I'll be going on the world tour. I'll be going to every country in the world. I'll be super ultra busy.
Yeah, my gosh, sounds like it.
Frankie, you announced yesterday or the day before that you were really ready to get out of Nova Scotia and do some traveling again as soon as it's open.
As soon as it's open, I'll be traveling to every country in the world ever, multiple times.
So that world tour, what do you hope to accomplish when you're out there?
I'll be giving out speeches about my past life and my childhood days and things like that, and my early weather reports and things like that. I'll be dancing on stage and doing comedy skits on stage.
Yes, you have dancing videos too. I saw the one where you were running away from, was it bears?
Gorillas, bears,
Gorillas, that was it.
tigers.
So that's the whole menagerie. Yeah, that was it. So I saw that you were making the video where you're running away from the gorillas outside by a street. Does anybody ever stop when you're making these videos and ask like what's going on or are you okay?
I'm great.
Yeah, but do they ever ask you? Like if you're filming outside running around and stuff, do the cars ever stop to make sure like you're not really being chased by bears or something?
They don't stop.
They don't stop. They just look. And then they find you on YouTube.
Frankie, I do have one question. People who don't understand right away all that you're trying to do, how do you help them understand who you are and what you represent?
My name is Frankie McDonald. I was born and raised in Sydney, Nova Scotia on April 24th, 1984. I am currently living in Sydney, Nova Scotia, which is located in southeastern Canada.
Carol, who is in Montreal, asked the question, what do you think of Canadian weather, Frankie?
Canadian weather means to get really hot weather in the summer, really cold weather in the winter.
And not too much in between, right?
Not too much in between, like spring and fall. Dogs and Wolves came from two dogs chased me down the street on October 24th, 2008.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
That's how my YouTube channel came from.
Two dogs chasing you down the street, 2008.
Yes.
Wow.
You have the calendar pretty solidly in your head, so you can pretty much solidly remember all the dates that you like or that you want to know, or
when it go to Dogs and Wolves YouTube channel, when you search www.youtube.com/dogsandwolves, then my name, Frankie McDonald, appears.
Yes.
Right.
But you're very good at remembering dates. Is that something you've always been able to do?
I remember dates and dates like that.
So you'll remember today, the day you came on the Backpack Show.
Yes.
Excellent. So where's the first place you want to go when you start your tour?
I'll be starting off in Atlantic Canada. I'll be going to Eastern Canada. I'll be going to Western Canada. Then I'll be going up north. I'll be going to the United States, all 50 states. I'll be doing all Latin American countries, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Oceania.
Wow. Where are you most looking forward to?
I'll be traveling to every country ever.
But your very favorite, like where's the one that you're really excited about going?
Just to perform on stage and things like that.
So everywhere.
Yes.
Wow. You mentioned something about your childhood and kind of how you found your way into doing YouTube videos.
I'm going to show you something. There's a copy of my book, Be Prepared to Fight That Guide to Life, Weather, and Everything. It was written by Sarah Soller. Sarah Soller's the co-author. I'm an author for Be Prepared. Sarah Soller's the co-author. She wrote my book. That's her there.
Oh, I love it.
Frankie, how was the process of writing that to you? How was that?
It took a long process. It's 2017 and 2018. My book is released in the bookstores on June 15, 2018.
What are some of the things that you put into the book? Like, what do people need to do to be prepared?
And I had to send Nimbus Publishing and childhood pictures of me and my younger pictures of me. I sent the publisher.
You did? They're in the book?
They're in the book.
Can we see one? Can you like...
I'm going to show you a sample.
Can we? I would love it. I love finding out how people...
When I was an infant baby in 1984.
Wow.
Oh, come on. That's adorable. I love babies. I'm a sucker for baby pictures. I'm sorry, everyone. I had to go there.
Here's me when I was a little boy.
Oh
wow.
gosh, look at that. And you always wanted to be a weatherman? Like on career day at school, did you come in and say you wanted to be a weatherman?
It's not the career day. This is my...
Right.
The other thing. This is my 11th birthday picture.
Awesome.
It's so good. That might be my favorite part. I haven't read the book yet, but baby pictures are always my favorite part.
Frankie, how do you help other people decide to be a YouTuber like you? Because you're a very brave YouTuber.
Yes.
How do you help other people decide to be a brave YouTuber?
I know another amateur meteorologist, Eric Tallman. He studies weather models. He lives in Michigan.
Yes. That sounds perfect. Do you have other favorite YouTubers that you watch?
Matthew Santoros, one. Jog Wheel, the old thing, microwave computers and microwave electronics and things like that.
Very cool. Very cool.
There's me when I was a little boy.
Okay, that's adorable. I could do that all day. I could do just that and be so happy.
Here's me when I was a teenager in 2000.
Oh, there's your computer, and you have a computer and everything.
That's my grandparents' computer. I was only a minor back then.
Oh, right. When did you start doing video for the first time?
2007 is a scenery. Then on December 16, 2009, I did a very first video myself. Then in June 2010, I did a very first viral video for the first time. Severe earthquake warning for California, September 2010. I can show you something. This is a bobblehead of me. It was designed by National Bobblehead Hall of Fame in Wisconsin.
He has a bobblehead, Chris, of himself. Do you too? I don't.
Frankie, I'm just like you. I got a bobblehead.
When I press the button.
I think yours is better because yours has a catchphrase.
Me too.
I got an action figure of me.
No, so does Chris. That's it. I'm totally the odd man out here.
Here we go. I got an action figure. Look at that. We're like twins.
Wow.
Wow. It has lots of expressions too.
Wow. Yeah, they're good. Well, he's done
right.
lots of videos, so he's got lots of options for things. Wow. That's really cool, Frankie. So, Frankie, you've got the YouTube channel with the dancing videos, weather videos. You've got comedy. You've got the tour coming up. You've got the book. I mean, what's next for you? Like after the tour, what do you want to do?
I'll be doing tour multiple times.
Oh, multiple times. Okay.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah.
So what do your friends and family think when they find out that you're a big YouTuber? Because my mom doesn't understand YouTube like at all.
It makes me great. This is a action figure of me. Ben Campbell is designer of Frank action figures who lives in Big Spring, Texas.
Wow. Carol asked a question, Frankie. Did you start out doing YouTube kind of for fun, or did you always plan
I didn't expect this to have so much success on YouTube when I warned Denver snowstorm in October 2011.
So it was a surprise. When
Yes.
people liked them so much. Wow.
Because severe earthquake warning video started that.
And then people really took notice. You've done a lot of media, so our little show is nothing. You've done some really big shows. What's the biggest show you feel like you've been on?
The biggest show I was on is Greg Canada, 2015. CBC interviewed me in 2013. Top 10 news making stories of 2013.
Wow.
Wow. Love it. And everybody loves your bobblehead and action figure. That's great.
Had a lot of good feedback. So one last question before we let you go, Frankie, and thank you so much again for saying you come on the show. One last question before you come on. If we had a backpack and you could put something in it, and that's going to take people success for the next 5 years, and it could be something real or it could be something that you think about, what would go in someone's backpack for success?
It's like a Dogs and Wolves YouTube channel. Then you can put a lot of things, you can put goodies on a backpack like food and things like that.
I like the plan.
Because he's being prepared.
Because be prepared. It's the whole thing about being Frankie.
Yes.
Frankie McDonald.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @Frankie McD. My Instagram is Frankie MACD 1984. Frankie MacD 1984. That's my Instagram. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald, Frankie McDonald fan page. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves, aka Frankie McDonald. And my YouTube and my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. My Snapchat is Frankie MacDon. And my TikTok is Frankie McDonald 1984.
Oh, you have TikTok too. Oh,
yes.
Wow. You guys have to go find him.
Frankie, TikTok. I have one last question. What's the weather today where you are?
2 high winds and heavy rain in Sydney, Nova Scotia. It came all the way from Wyoming. It hit Nebraska. It hit Michigan. It hit Wisconsin, Minnesota, Ontario, Quebec. Now Atlantic Canada. There's going to bring a major snowstorm in Labrador.
Uh-oh. Watch
Whoa,
out, people in
snowstorm.
Labrador up there in the east. Thank
Look
you so
out.
much, Frankie. Good talking to you today. Thanks for being on the show, buddy.
Thanks so much.
Best of luck to you. I'm Frankie McDonald.
Thanks,
Frankie.
Frankie.
Bye now. Oh, that was great. Super good. Wow, he pieced right out.
Such good branding. So yeah, every single YouTube video at the end, he's like, "I'm Frankie McDonald," and I like that so much more than my kids. Well, I love my kids, but I mean, like when they do like and subscribe, right? Whatever. Like they do. Yeah. They do that, and I'm like, people already know that if they like you, they should like and subscribe. Like that's a thing people do. So yeah, Frankie's totally everywhere. You're right about that.
My first ever experience with Frankie was on a photo that he'd put up on Reddit. And one of the things you don't know about Frankie is before you know Frankie, you obviously may or may not have a different opinion about him. But once you see him for more than 5.5 seconds, you're on his team. It does not matter. And he posted some photo on Reddit. Some of the average kind of trolls who hang on Reddit come on and start saying mean stuff. And then like 100,000 people come and comment and like overwhelm the trolls with how, everybody loves Frankie. So,
well, and he says, just ignore the trolls. He said it a bunch of times. Actually, Karen is here and she pulled out one of his quotes where he says that, just ignore the trolls. But he says that multiple times because people will be like, oh, you leave Frankie alone. He's like, meh, ignore him. Ignore him. So he knows exactly what he wants to create.
He does.
He knows exactly what he wants to do. And he doesn't care at all about all the people telling him that he can't or that he's bad or that whatever else. I love it.
You know what would allow him to make the show really easy?
StreamYard?
He could make his own show on StreamYard. Boy, is that easy. See Brogan.me/StreamYard. Make your own show. I just burped into the mic.
Bring your own amateur meteorologist and YouTube sensation.
Yeah.
Good luck finding one with as much energy as Frankie.
Oh my golly. Yep. You're not going to get it. See Brogan.me/StreamYard. Hey, authors, just like Frankie McDonald's an author.
I didn't know that. I was so excited to hear that.
Be prepared with Susan, some nice lady named Susan or Sarah or something with an S. Go to pub-site.com. You can set up your own website as fast and easy as Frankie throws up a weather video.
Yes.
Pub-site.com.
Yes, and it's specifically for authors. So all the pieces they have for you to build your own website, which is really easy to do, they're all things you need to promote your book, to promote your appearances, to promote yourself as an author. It's all there. It's all super easy to put together. You get a 14-day free trial to check it out for yourself. And if you absolutely don't want to build it yourself, they'll build it for you for just $499. But if you want to do it yourself, it's just $19.99 a month. It's so easy. Pub-site.com.
Sponsors of Person of the Day.
Yay! Oh my gosh. How do we pick a person of the day after him? Like Fazia loves him.
Frankie's probably his own person of the day at this point.
Karen says wise advice from Frankie, right? I think like we all know that you should ignore the trolls, but the hard part for some people is doing it.
So one of the other obvious things to talk about is the fact that Frankie's on the spectrum. And Kerry and I both have kids on the spectrum. And Kerry and I both celebrate that. Like it's not something where we, worry about all the bad parts and all those sorts of things. And there are lots of challenges and what they always say about autism is if you meet one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. It's all different. My kid does not act the way Frankie acts. He was hanging out with two other kids on the spectrum yesterday and all three of them are utterly individual.
Different.
Yeah.
Well, I knew my son had differences before he was even 2. I knew almost right away. And so I was already, we did a lot of things for him, like different types of therapies and stuff to get over texture aversions, to get over, behavioral things and kind of help him hang, help him like process the world in a way that would make it a little bit easier for him.
Right.
So now at the age he's at now, you wouldn't know that at all. You wouldn't even know he's on the spectrum. He's different than other kids. Like he doesn't care at all about like the whole ignore the trolls thing. No problem. He'll ignore the trolls. He doesn't care. Yeah. But it's beyond that. You wouldn't think necessarily he's on the spectrum because like you said, it looks different for everyone. Did you see my shirt? It's Wrecking Ball Coffee.
Wrecking Ball Coffee.
Yes.
What a great supporter of all our guests you are, Kerry O'Shea Gorgone.
Wrecking Ball Coffee. And I think that Trish wanted to send me one and I'd already ordered one. So she put some coffee in it for me. So I got like extra things. Yeah.
That's so super cool. Elaine says autism is simply a different way of navigating this world with different gifts. Absolutely.
Can we talk about the gifts? Because it's crazy. His memory is ridiculous. I don't know if it's photographic or what, but the kid never forgets a thing.
It's my kid has none of those magical powers that you see sometimes with autism, except that 96% of people that are autistic are pitch perfect. 96%.
Oh, interesting.
So it is, which you would think is really cool, except it is a curse. He cannot in any way endure people singing happy birthday, and he is not enjoying Zoom rooms because everyone's mic is different and he can hear it.
Oh.
Leslie says, one of the schools that I worked in has an autism program. They're all very different from each other. Seeing Frankie started my week out in such a beautiful way. I'm so glad in that. You have to understand that there's a subset of humans that bring somebody like Frankie around because it's a novelty. And then what our goal is that we're bringing Frankie because he's doing something that some of you aren't doing because you're not ready and not feeling brave enough to do. And Frankie's done for like almost 10 years now and has 100,000 more subscribers than me because of.
That's what I love about it. So think about this. Like, he is an amateur weatherman. He does weather reports on YouTube, on video. I know so many people, women in particular, but people in general who are like, I can't talk about the weather. I'm not a meteorologist. Doesn't matter at all. Like, if you love something and you've learned about it, go ahead and talk about it. The world needs what you know. And I love how he puts himself out there all the time, every day. And if people don't like it, they can just jog on.
Over the years, I've interviewed Dr. Robert Brooks a ton of times. We had him on the show on election day. And one of the things I said to him early on is I said, I give a lot of people thoughts and opinions about depression, but I have no credentials for that. And he goes, yeah, well, you're not representing yourself as that. You're representing yourself as someone with some kind of domain experience in this, and that's it. And I said, yeah. And so that's what you're pointing out is just the fact that, Frankie's clearly not a meteorologist, but my gosh, he's got domain knowledge.
Oh, and talk about loving the weather. He watches in other countries with languages he doesn't speak and uses technology to translate it for him. I mean, come on. Bob says he's my new inspiration to get myself on video.
Bob, you're a handsome man. Get on there.
And Deb from Women's Leadership Live says, seeing young men like Frankie makes us appreciate and value our differences. Today is International Day of Tolerance.
And evidently also Trans Awareness Week is what I learned. Yep, there's trans people. Okay.
Well, so I'd like to get past tolerance to actual acceptance. I know that's like a big ask, but it would be nice.
That was the show. That was the part of the show that you missed when we were talking a couple of days ago to someone. And what we said was, sort of a civility, and what required for civility is equality. I think you're right. I think that acceptance, tolerance comes with acceptance. It might be one of those names of an event that maybe needs to be changed at some point,
Well, having a kid on the spectrum certainly helps, but I went to a movie, for example, once, and there was a kid there who I would guess is on the spectrum because, he would get excited and like flap his hands and make noise and stuff. Not a lot of noise. You could totally watch around. It was fine. And those were at parts that were exciting for everybody. So if you know what I mean, like, it's kind of noisy anyway. It doesn't matter. And people were getting so annoyed. And I was like, why don't you shut up? And then somebody actually said something at one point, and I was literally like, you need to shut up.
Yeah.
What are they supposed to do? Like, never leave their house?
No.
Because he gets excited in a different way than you do. It's just ridiculous. People are ridiculous.
And it's Elaine said it a little bit earlier too, just the fact that it's just a very simple difference of interface. Probably the hardest part of poor Harold going through life was that he had us not understanding how much he did understand. He was a super, super smart kid, super, way ahead of the curve in a lot of things. And then the things he can't do, are equally, vexing. Like, it was his teenage years before he couldn't quite get a shoe tied. And we one day we realized, what you don't really need to know in life is how to tie a shoe.
You're so right. Elaine says, I believe in equal. None of us are perfect. Isn't that the truth? I get on my soapbox about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do a little bit. But I know you do.
Have to.
You do. But then there's people out there. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. This is about the noise thing. Harold rides a special bus with a whole bunch of other kids with different disabilities and abilities. And there was a kid out there that had this, kind of repetitive noise that Harold didn't like. And so he would say very frequently to the kid, why don't you just shut the up?
Oh, no.
And we had to kind of like nip that in the bud. We're like, Harold, you do stuff that's annoying to other people too, buddy.
Just change bus routes.
He's like, yeah, but I can't do that one. And so it was a little rough because that after Harold would say that, the kid would repeat it. The rest of the bus ride home until the parent came to the bus and, hey, whatever child's name is, you ready to go? And the kid would say, F up, shut the F up to the parent.
Whoops.
So that was a mistake. So anyway, I was just pointing that out to say that, sometimes if you're like thinking they're annoying, sometimes people who have audible challenges, sometimes they know they're annoying and they're annoying other people and themselves at the same time. It's tricky.
Yeah, we had to do a lot of work around things like sportsmanship, because playing games with depending on like how your kid manifests on the spectrum, playing games if they're not winning can be difficult and not fun for anybody involved. So we had to have a lot of kind of behavioral stuff around that before there was like compromise and just acceptance in general that sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, that kind of thing. So things that we take for granted. And to me, it was just like amplifying the feelings that we all have. None of us love losing. None of us are like, oh, good, you're really kicking my ass. Like, not any of us. So if anything, I felt like he was more authentic than most people who've been trained to be like, okay, I guess this is how it is. But I've learned a lot from him. And I learned a lot from, you introducing me to Frankie. And I hope everybody here now will go out and make the videos and stop worrying about, that you're like you always say, Chris, it's like you're too old, you're too fat, you're too something. Forget it. Just do it.
Right.
Seriously, just do it.
Right. And it's, there's a lot of people. So I was just looking for, and I just found, I'll just play it silently for a little bit. This girl, Sweet Anita. So you look at her, you're like, oh, attractive video gaming girl, YouTuber. She's got it made. She also has Tourette's. And Tourette's often doesn't manifest itself the way we think with saying all the swear words and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes it could just be a whole bunch of different kinds of tics, audible and visual tics. With Anita, she's lucky. She gets all the swear words too. So she's gaming. And a lot of the time, one of the things that happens with Tourette's is you end up saying things that you really don't want to say out loud. And they're very often not, they're shock value on purpose, but not because the person wants to do it. It's what the Tourette seems to want.
It goes for the worst possible thing.
Yeah. And the thing you least want to say in front of somebody. So it could be,
oh, coach, you're so right.
It can be crazy. So it's definitely, but Anita's got a bazillion more subscribers than I do as well. And I'll chalk a little bit up to that. I'm a little less attractive than she is, but she's doing it. She's making it happen. And I think that, one thing I want to keep encouraging, that what you and I said will make the theme of this show today, is that it's time for everyone to get over them damn selves and make some videos, because we need it. We need it because stuff that we don't know, and you need to share it. Kate has a wealth of stuff, and so every now and again she'll make a video. I've seen her throw her iPad open and make a video here and there, but I think we need it a little more. I think, yeah.
So when I watched some of Frankie's videos, you saw he makes them outside, and people will like be driving by, going by, and you see he's getting these looks. He doesn't care at all. Nope. Neither should you. And Lucy Windham Reed, who we had on the show before, she's done, oh my gosh, it's got to be like, it's hundreds and hundreds of workout videos now. And a lot of them are outside because it's just easier for her to do outside. Right. But that also means, looky-loos and stuff. Looking at her strange. She's working. You would think working out would be fairly, ordinary. And she's, very nice looking. So I think she probably attracts more attention than, she probably wants. But you know what? Screw it. She just does it. She gets the videos in, and she's done it consistently for years and years. And now she's got the books and YouTube following and the audience. She's got the life she wants, and she did it because she was willing to put herself out there and be like, screw it. Let them look.
I did not know that the poem Warning by Jenny Joseph was a Scottish poem. And now that I figured out that Kerry O'Shea Gorgone is a poet, now that I know this, thanks to Instagram, I will share just a snippet of Warning by Jenny Joseph. When I am an old woman, I shall wear purple with a red hat, which doesn't go and doesn't suit me. And I shall spend my pension on brandy and summer gloves and satin sandals, and say we've no money for butter. I shall sit down on the pavement when I'm tired and gobble up samples in shops and press alarm bells and run my stick along the public railings and make up for the sobriety of my youth. I shall go out in my slippers in the rain and pick flowers in other people's garden and learn to spit. You can wear terrible shirts and grow more fat and eat 3 pounds of sausages at a go, or only bread and pickles for a week. and hoard pens and pencils and beer mats and things in boxes. But now we must have clothes that keep us dry and pay our rent and not swear in the street and set a good example for the children. We must have friends to dinner and read the papers. But maybe I ought to practice a little now, so people who know me are not too shocked and surprised when suddenly I'm old and I start to wear purple. That Jenny.
Suze wants you to read more poems.
Oh, thank you, Sue. I mean, I'm no poet like Kerry O'Shea.
Will you stop?
But
Okay, so I was in high school and my teachers decided, for reasons that elude me, to select one of the students to read a poem at this like New Works weekend that was happening. Because I grew up on Cape Cod and there's like a big arts community on Cape Cod and whatever. So so they had a few of us like read some of our stuff, and everybody else's stuff was like about sailboats and lighthouses and birds, and that's fine. But like on Cape Cod, that's what kids write about, I guess. And so mine was about, you know, the people in my life, and I feel like talking about your life and the people in it is almost always going to win out over birds and lighthouses and whatever. So they ended up choosing me to do it, and I did. And I'll have to get a picture of this. I had this striking electric purple dress that was a gift from my high school boyfriend's mom, who evidently used to recite poetry. So she was like thrilled, like over the moon about this. And I put it on and walk in there with like a tower dress. It's like a purple tower dress. I felt like I was going to float away, like I was a butterfly or something. And the other poet that's going to perform walks in, because there's like all kinds of whatever, people reading excerpts from their books and stuff. And so the other poet there had like leg warmers and some kind of skirt that almost looked like a kilt, or talking about Scottish stuff, and a vest or something. And she said, "You're what a poet looks like." I was like, "What a freaking poet." I'm a high school student. So that's how that went. But anyway, so the local paper sent somebody to interview me at the school. They did a whole thing. And so they run the whole story, like student poet to perform. And suddenly I was a
you're
poet.
the poet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
that's like the one time I ended up on NBC Nightly News and they put up privacy attorney next to my name. And after that, the privacy attorney. I'm like,
who'd have thought?
Okay.
Hey,
whatever.
We got to do a person of the day.
We do.
We got to do person of the day. I had one in mind because I don't think we've made her person of the day just yet. Elaine Lindsay.
Yes.
Lovely Elaine Lindsay. Poet. You are poet of the day and person of the day. You get to have an apple just like that one you see here. Just go to your local store, pick it up, and make sure you wash it first, like Kerry.
I think that's my favorite LinkedIn photo.
Elaine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good one.
I like it. It's better than mine. So
Frank,
anyway, I'm a poet. I'm a privacy attorney. What can't I do?
that's right. and soapboxing autistic kid mom.
Well, yeah, doing that since 2008.
Can you remember any poems, that you can remember by rote?
What, that I did?
Well, any. I don't care. Do you have any poems memorized?
Well, the first one I wrote, they had us write poems that were all one-syllable words, like in the 4th grade. And so everybody was like Matt the Cat and whatever. And I did Let the Cold Winds Blow. So let me think. Let the cold winds blow. I'll just sit